Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another episode of Build-A-Figure. This is just a series where we check out custom head sculpts, we kit bash, we customize, but most importantly, we build figures. Today, we're going to be focusing on Ben Affleck's tactical batsuit. At this point, Batfleck is no stranger to the Build-A-Figure series. We've already upgraded Nightmare Batman, the standard BVS suit, and the standard version of the Justice League suit, plus the battle-damaged armored figure as well. Those videos already live on the Build-A-Figure playlist. So I thought, with the 2.0 version of this guy being released recently, now was as good a time as any to try and upgrade this guy as well. Unfortunately, in my opinion, Hot Toys kinda shat the bed with this 2.0. They didn't upgrade the belt, they didn't fix the proportions, they didn't get the armor plates to sit in the right positions, and they didn't even touch the head sculpt. In fact, I reckon this new version is slightly worse than the original. I don't know what it is about this tactical cowl that just somehow looks like a downgrade with the new one on the left compared to the original on the right. The original was no saint either, it just looks way better than the new one, and it's not the mouth plate, I think it's something to do with the eye area perhaps. Then they went ahead and added all of this extra silver dry brushing. While I like it, it's not super accurate to the movie. There was a little bit like the one on the right. It was nowhere near as exaggerated as it is on the left. So in an attempt to fix that, I reached out to my favorite custom Batfleck head sculpt creator, Zhao 3D Modeler on Instagram. I have popped the links to Zhao in the description below, as well as Dana Studio, the painter who painted these Batfleck cowls. I'm pretty sure you can see why I decided to go for this cowl. The likeness alone, I mean, it's a huge improvement. This looks exactly like a Ben Affleck in the tactical cowl. The neck is thicker, the ears come to a really sharp point, and the skin texture plus the 5 o'clock shadow is actually sculpted in there. It's not just that speckling of paint on the surface. It's 3D and textural, you can feel it. I did opt to have his eyes looking up ever so slightly, so it comes across more mean and menacing. The fine texture work on the side of the cowl with all of the intersecting lines and the carbon fiber bits and pieces, it's just insane. This cowl is next level. Now the goggles are the Hot Toys ones. The best part about the Zhao cowls is they're compatible with all of the Hot Toys goggle pieces, including those little silver bits you can pop on the side. That's why I said goggle pieces, not just goggles. While the Hot Toys one is okay, it's passable in my opinion, it still looks like Ben Affleck at the end of the day. The Zhao 3D Modeler one, it just hits on a completely different level. Having the head portion be angled slightly more forward just gives him that presence that I was after. The ears are even a completely different shape, which shows you how much more accurate the Zhao 3D Modeler one is. If you don't believe me, you don't have to take my word for it, just look at some reference pics and you'll see what I mean. I think it's well known at this point that Ben Affleck is my favorite live-action Batman. So that's why I decided to get two cowls from Zhao 3D Modeler. Unlike the Hot Toys ones, you can't switch out the eye position, nor can you switch out the mouth plates. I'm okay with that because having everything integrated just means it's way more seamless. Moving eyes would have been awesome. I don't really miss it though, just because you can customize the eye position when you contact the painter to commission this head sculpt. So if you do want the eyes looking off to the side, you can totally ask for them to do that. This is the second tactical batsuit sculpt. His mouth is slightly open. I'm not exactly sure which one I prefer, so I'm going to have to rely on y'all in the comments section down below. Let me know which one you think is superior. This one where he's mid-sentence or maybe mid-fight perhaps, or the more neutral one. There's something about the goggles down look on this particular cowl with the open mouth expression that just totally works for me. And don't worry, we will be trying out the goggles up, down, and no goggles on both cowls, just to see which combination is the best option. Then again, goggles up does look pretty cool too. I'm really struggling to decide what I'm going to go with in my display. Compared back to the Hot Toys cowl, this is the stock one, but the 2.0 version. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Even with the open mouth expression, there's a night and day difference. You can still see the teeth inside the mouth plate on both cowls, but one just looks way more like Ben Affleck to me. And the Hot Toys skin tone is significantly darker. There's something about the eye position with the Hot Toys cowl and the size of the upper lip and the mole being as subdued as it is. I just think it comes across goofy. I'll try not to keep shitting on the Hot Toys cowl, I've already said my piece at this point. So we have the neutral expression Zhao 3D modeler cowl on the left, with the goggles down this time, compared to the Hot Toys 1.0 cowl, also with the goggles down. You all can make up your own mind, you can see them both side by side. You also know which one I prefer. The same thing can be said for the no goggles option. These little side pieces do sit a little bit more flush inside this particular cowl versus the open mouth expression one. So if I was to go for a no goggles look, I'd probably do it with this versus the other one. Once again, compared to the Hot Toys cowl, a massive difference. Before we move on, I just quickly wanted to show you the texture on the surface of the cowl up close, because it's insane. I know I sound like a broken record. There is so much detail here, and I've already said that. Seeing it at a distance is very different compared to seeing it up close. Every panel has a different texture. Sculpting this cannot have been easy, but I reckon Zhao 3D Modeler and Dana Studios who painted this thing nailed it. Which is not something that we can comfortably say about the 2.0 version of the tactical batsuit by Hot Toys. Initially, when I was planning this video, I did think I was going to use this 2.0 version rather than the original, but then when I looked at reference from Justice League, the suit didn't look like this. It was nowhere near as shiny as this new one is. So I decided to go ahead and upgrade the original versus this new one. Normally in these Build-A-Figure episodes, I'm a fan of reversible mods. Stuff that I can put back to stock if I ever decide to sell something. In this instance, I ain't selling either of my tactical batsuit figures, so I was perfectly fine to try and tackle this irreversible mod. Because I think the pros far outweigh the cons with modifying the belt. So first off, this is the 2.0 version. The gold is far too warm in tone. The detail is a little bit washed out, which is the complete opposite effect that a wash is supposed to have on detail. And the pouches are all flat and in line. I do have to say a massive thank you to Cosplay Chris for the reference pictures he provided me to get this as accurate as possible. So this is the 1.0 belt that has now been modified. I didn't have to do anything for the gold, it was already this more muted color, which is accurate. Same thing with the detail on the surface, the washes just looked better originally. The thing that I did do was snip off the pouches because they're pegged in and plastic welded underneath this foam covering. You peel it back, snip off the welds, then glue the pouches back onto the belt with this tapered effect. So as you can see, the pouches now go down towards the middle, towards the belt buckle, which when we install the belt on the figure, will hopefully have been worth the hassle. There's only really one way to find out, I suppose. This is the stock 2.0 figure with that flat belt pouch alignment, just straight line across the top, which is how it shouldn't be, versus the 1.0 with the modified belt. As you can see, it is a subtle difference, but there is a difference. Now it looks like there's a natural V taper for his waist. And you can accentuate it even further by pulling the belt buckle down ever so slightly. The next thing I decided to try and tackle was the placement of the armor plating. The shoulder pad should really be up here on his shoulder, and the bicep guard should be on the bicep, and these pieces shouldn't stick out the way they are, and they should be significantly higher up on his thighs. To do this, I was hoping it was going to be straightforward, just simply move the stuff in position. It wasn't that easy, unfortunately. I had to heat up the armor plates, move them up as they heat up, they get slightly more flexible, so you can do that. And then once they'd cooled down and set, I removed them so that they didn't fuse to the undersuit while they cooled down completely. Because when you introduce heat onto this rubbery material, you do run the risk of damage. So reshape them, then take them off, pop them right back on after they've cooled down completely. So now, even though we still have the stock cowl on, we will pop the new one on, don't worry. The shoulder pads are in the correct position. The bicep guards are actually on the biceps. We've already fixed the belt. The thigh plates are way higher up. These panels sit a little bit more flush to the body, although they stick out maybe a bit more than I was hoping. I could do some more work on them. And the knee pad is properly on the knee, plus the shin guard does sit down a lot lower. For the sake of consistency, the 2.0 unmodified figure is on the right and the original is on the left. So the thigh plates, they now sit in the correct positions. The knee pads were pretty much sitting on top of the thigh plates and on top of the shin guards with the original, plus the legs were shorter. So to try and adjust for the wonky proportions in the short legs, I switched out the ankle pegs. You can get ankle pegs pretty much anywhere. AliExpress, eBay, 1/6 kit. Look around online, find some longer ankle pegs, and that should, fingers crossed, help solve the weird proportion issue for the tactical batsuit. I don't think I can wait any longer. Before we zoom out and do a side-by-side and wrap up, let's try out both new cowls actually on the body. It's one thing seeing them and handling them on camera separately to the body. Popping them on, I find, always just hits different. Oh, hell yes. I love this. I cannot get enough of how this figure looks now. The more subdued color palette, which is accurate to the movie, the modified belt, the adjusted proportions, and of course, that gorgeous Zhao 3D modeler head sculpt. I still have to get myself a custom cape, I reckon, though, because the stock cape is fine. I decided to stick with it for this video. Maybe in the future I will have to reach out to Jackson Zhu or Unreal Customs to get myself an even better cape for this guy. Not really my top priority right now. I'm already extremely satisfied with this modified tactical batsuit figure. Now, because the cowl does just pop on the stock Hot Toys neck connector, you have the exact same range of motion as that stock cowl. So you get swivel left and right, and it can look up and down. It's restricted, yes, and because it's made of a solid resin, maybe it can't flex as much. It's more than enough range for me personally. I've done enough of these Build-A-Figure episodes at this point to know that there are some people out there who absolutely despise customs. Anything not made by Hot Toys, not stock or OEM, is just an absolute no for them. I get it, it's something different, and a custom figure by design is customized by the maker for the maker. So in this instance, me. I made this figure based on my own specifications and desires for a tactical batsuit. So if you prefer the stock one, all the power to you. I'm really happy for you. Pop that in your display and go from there. Whereas for me, it wasn't good enough, and I wanted to mix things up a little and get it to be as accurate as possible. So as you can see on the left, my modified tactical batsuit. And yeah, I reckon it's a night and day difference. It's you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. He's taller, the proportions look so much better thanks to the mods we've done, and that belt, it accentuates the V taper down to the waist. And then we get to the head sculpt. Either one of the Zhao 3D modeler cowls on this body will, in my opinion, trump the stock one. While this doesn't make a ton of sense, the tactical suit figure being taller than the stock BVS one, I can write it off that he's in an armored suit, therefore he should be ever so slightly taller. I also just wanted to bring out my customized BVS suit once more. I have done some more work on him. I've added these gold highlights here and there. Once again, thanks to Cosplay Chris for the reference, because that's something I didn't even know was on the surface of the BVS suit until I saw those reference pics. And I've done the belt mod on him. Let me know if you'd like to see an updated video on my customized BVS batsuit. Wrapping up on another episode of Build-A-Figure. Today, we upgraded the tactical suit Batfleck figure from Zack Snyder's Justice League or the theatrical cut version, which we won't talk about. I'm really happy with how this guy turned out. Is he going to be for everyone? No, probably not. Some people are probably not going to like the head sculpts or the mods that I've done, and I get it, it's not for you. But it certainly is for me. I cannot wait to pop this guy back in the collection now that he has been upgraded. My biggest takeaways here are, number one, the proportions are so much better when you adjust the armor plating. But number two, The head sculpts are completely necessary. Those new cowls, even if you don't do any of the other mods, will take your Batfleck figure to the next level. That's how good I think the cowls are. They work as standalone upgrades, whether it's the neutral expression or the one with his mouth slightly open. I am leaning towards that one for my display, but every now and then I will probably switch it out just to freshen things up a little. Being able to use the stock Hot Toys goggles and not having to go custom, because you can, I have seen custom metal versions out there, I think is icing on the cake. You want something that's going to upgrade your figure, but you don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole. And that's what the cowls do for me. I just decided to take it way further and do all of the other mods as well. So at the end of this, was it worth doing? In my opinion, yeah, I think it was. Now, I have popped the links to Zhao 3D Modeler and Dana Studio in the description below, the talented artists behind the two head sculpts we looked at in this video. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.